Hey guys, what's going on? It's Anime Sensor here. Man, I've tried to record two videos so far, and neither actually went through. So, and they're OG videos too. But you know what? I'm not giving up. I'm gonna try to record them both again. But I actually have a what if for you guys. So, I actually got the idea kind of from Potato in a way, since I'd seen he had a series about Quicksilver. So I'm like, alright, that would be pretty cool. And also, a friend of mine had also suggested this in my comic section a few months ago. So hey, might as well use the idea. As this is gonna be, what if Naruto had the Flash's powers? As let's get straight into this. In this timeline, Naruto is actually somewhat of a scientist, as he's about 17 years old. As he's in the lab, suddenly a few fans of his came up to him saying, "Doctor Uzumaki, Scientist Uzumaki, are you the famous Naruto Uzumaki? The person who had cured all and everything? You're so cool," they say as they walk up to Naruto trying to get his autograph. As Naruto signs it saying, "Hey, gotta do what I gotta do. It is my job after all." As Naruto had actually went into the lab, suddenly putting a few things into the test tube as he says, "Finally, I can get what I've been trying to get. The ninja world could be better if my experiment goes right," Naruto says to himself, as suddenly he looks outside saying, "Oh dang, seems to be storming tonight. Well, no matter. I'll just finish it up a little bit, finishing touches, then boom." As suddenly a friend of Naruto comes in saying, Naruto, I don't think you should be doing this, especially when it's storming. I don't think it's a good idea, honestly, if you ask me." As Naruto said, "Nonsense. A scientist at work can't stop, honestly. When you get into a project so much, you just kinda can't stop with it." As Naruto's friend walks out saying, "Okay, if you insist, that's your choice," he says as he had walked out the room. As Naruto had finally said, "Finally, I've almost got this done," as he was getting ready to pour this final thing into the test tube. As suddenly, lightning crashed into the room he was in, as it exploded in the room. As everyone else who had been outside of the room and a few other rooms in the laboratory had went into the room and seen that Naruto was passed out and had been shocked, electrocuted, as the test tube he was working on had also poured on him as well. As they all looked on him, saying, "He's he, he's dead. How? Why?" As they all had actually thought he was dead, and actually had a funeral for him about a week or two later. As after the funeral, about a few hours later, Naruto had woken up. As Naruto looks to himself, all he can see is, well, darkness, because he's inside a coffin. As Naruto says, where am I?" As he tries to get up, suddenly he realizes he's in the box. As he thinks, the only reason I'd be in the box is, he thinks about the situation he was in. They must think I'm dead. As suddenly Naruto tries to push with all his power, as suddenly he had electrocuted it using lightning and had destroyed it. As he had gotten up, he said, "What the? How? What the? I need to go to the lab," he says, as he starts to jog, well, running surprisingly fast. As Naruto stops in his tracks and, What the? What's going on here?" As Naruto suddenly sees this, he starts to run around the whole city just to test his new powers. As he thinks about it, if I was struck by lightning and was also working on a superpower serum, this must have gave me the power of electricity and, well, the power of super speed. As Naruto says, "With this type of power, who knows what I could do?" As suddenly Naruto does another lap around the city thinking, maybe I can make some good use with these powers. As suddenly he hears a woman screaming in distress as he looks into an alleyway and sees that there's some men trying to steal from this woman. Suddenly Naruto realizes he should put a stop to this. He runs as fast as he can, even leaving an after image as they seem to be looking at the after image, saying, "You're just gonna stand there, man? Or are you scared?" As suddenly Naruto had karate chopped one of them in the neck, knocking him out. As Naruto had speed blitzed the other one, punching him in the stomach, as he had coughed up blood, getting knocked out. As Naruto had left fleeing the scene as he didn't want anyone to see his identity. As about a few months later, Naruto had been, well, doing hero stuff and all of that. As one day, there was something bad going on. As specifically, Naruto had to save the city as, well, basically the city was getting blown up as Naruto had to literally save one person each per second as he had ran around the whole city. As he had to break the laws of speed, going at speeds he had never gone. As he was thinking to himself, saying, "What the hell?" And suddenly he started to run even faster, realizing that he only had a few seconds left. Suddenly he had ran so fast that he seemed to have went to another realm. As Naruto looks, he can see that it's mostly a white void, as he sees three figures above him standing and saying, "Naruto Uzumaki, you are in the Speed Force. You've broken the laws of speed. You went even faster than we've allowed you to, and that is unacceptable, and you will be punished for that." As Naruto tries to explain his reasoning, saying, "Well, I had to do what I had to do. I would have rather saved them people. I didn't know there was rules to this whole super speed thing." As the Guardians look down upon Naruto, saying, "Alright then, let this be your final warning. Don't ever let this happen again. Noted? Because if it does, well, we might have to kill you, or take away your super speed." As Naruto nods in agreement, suddenly they say, "I'll do you one more favor. I'll deal with your little problem." As they snap their fingers, and Naruto questions, "What the heck does that do?" As I say, "Well, everyone you were trying to save were safe now, and the city has been restored back to normal." As Naruto had finally back to the city, people started to see him as a hero, saying, "How, Naruto! Flash, 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 Flash!" As this is what his costume looks like. Something like this. While screaming his name, saying how happy they were that he was there for them to help them out. As Naruto had seen this, suddenly he had a vision of him fighting someone. He couldn't make out who it is, but it was definitely someone. As Naruto looks, he says, "Interesting." As that's where I'm going to be leaving off. I hope you guys enjoyed, and my sensei out.